Okay, today I'm explaining the most vital part of the ranks.nl website, the page analyzer. And this is my co-worker Germaine.
Hi.
And she used the tool of the ranks.nl website, but she has some questions about it. So today I'm going to explain her how to use the page analyzer and how to get the most out of it. If you use these tools for a web page, based on the result, you can adjust your web page so that Google has a better understanding of what your content is about. Germaine, you have used the tools and you had some questions about it, but where would you like to start?
Well, I'd like to start with the page analyzer. It looked really interesting, but I couldn't figure out how to read the data. So if we could walk through that, that would be great.
Okay, let's walk through the data analyzing, because the reports sometimes seem a little bit complicated, but they're actually very simple. If you want to use the ranks.nl tool, you need to sign in. You can sign in with a free account or just a paid account. I'm signing in and I have a paid account, of course. And then I go to the page analyzer, and that's the first tab if you log in. And what we do then, we go to the website of the page that we want to analyze. So I'm not going to her homepage, but I'm going to an extra page. And I'm taking the website of this woman. Her name is Gemma Wendt, and she's a business coach in the UK. And I searched for Business Coach UK. And then I found her on a high position. You see, actually, she's one of the first positions, so she's ranking very well. Because I want to show an example of somebody that already is ranking well. So you see this example as the first time. Then I copy the URL and paste it into this URL box here. And then we press on go. We are skipping this optional keyword because it sometimes gets too complicated. So we first only analyze. We click on go, and then we see the whole report. Okay, so here we see the report of Gemma Wendt, and this report, you see now, it helps you understand what a search engine like Google considers the most important keywords on your web page. So it shows the word that seem the most relevant on this page. And Google might put your page on the top of the search results for those words to the visitors. And so it gives the visitors that are searching the best answer to their questions, because that's actually what a search engine wants. It wants to give the best answer to a search result. So let's dive into this report, and I will first tell about the diagram, and then the analysis underneath and also next to it. And the last part will be about the other tabs on the top. Okay, let's start with what you can see on the first page. The dark blue elements of the chart show the words that are seen as most important. This can be just one word, but it can also be a phrase, as you see further on in the chart. Business, dreams to life, for example. So the words business and coach are the two single words that Gemma tells Google that this web page is focusing on. So she tells Google about what she wants Google to know as what she's focusing on with this website. So that's what you see in this chart. And if these would not be the right words that you see on the darkest blue side of the chart, she should change something on her site. to send a clearer message to Google about the focus on her website, or actually on her page, because it's not just her homepage or her whole website, but it's just this page and this URL. Apparently, she's not using the phrase business coach as one combination very often on her page. That would have been better if you want Google to know that you're a business coach. And that brings us to the analysis below about the single words or multiple word phrases. On the left side, you see the single words that are mentioned in the text. Business is used 26 times in the text, while coach is only used 5 times. Next to the number of repeats, you see several letters. Each letter tells you where you use this word on the content of the page. You can see the meaning of the letters if you hover over the letters. I will here shortly explain just the first ones that we see here, so you get a good feeling of which are important ones to use. The D stands for title, and Gemma, she put the word business in her SEO, her meta title. So that's very good. It gives Google an indication that business is an important word on her web page. So the U stands for the fact that the word is found in the URL, the link. Business is used here in the URL. The last part of her URL is called the permalink, or slug in most CMSs. So if you want to change that, you can search for that. But watch out not to change it without making a 301 redirect. Otherwise you get 404 errors, which Google does not appreciate. The H means that the keyword is used in headings. Headings are, for example, the heading 1, the heading 2, or 3. You use in your page above your paragraphs. Kind of the titles of the paragraphs. Here you see she used it on the most important heading, heading 1, on the top of the page. An extra tip is that it's also good to let it return in another heading later on the page. The A stands for anchor text or link text, and it is the visible, clickable text in a hyperlink. The words contained in the text of the hyperlink can be a factor in the ranking of the page that will be received by search engines. So it's better to use it in the anchor text, because search engines could receive it as telling the search engines that you focus on this keyword. So, for example, if you go to Gemma Wendt, her website, and to the page, the UK Business Coach page, and I search with Command F in Google Chrome, you see the words highlighted that I was searching for, and I was searching for business. And because her testimonials on the bottom of her page are all links and she uses business in this, that's the link text. That's why business is said to be in the link text. So here, that's why you see that it's an A, and the A stands for anchor text, and here we say link text. B is bold text and is used for emphasis, to make certain words and phrases stand out from surrounding text. HTML uses tags like B with tags around it or strong with tags around it to make text look bold. So that's how you can see that it's a bold text. Then you see LE. The LE tag defines a list item. The LE tag is used in both ordered and unordered lists. Many websites use lists for things like navigation and sitemaps and menus. The list items within a list will most likely carry the same styles such as color, font and background. They belong together visually. How you know it normally, it's like a bullet list. So that's also how they stand out from other text. Then you see STM, and STM stands for STEM. Stemming is the process of reducing inflected or sometimes derived words to their word stem, their base or their root form. For example, a plural and a singular form of a word generally have the same stem. So businesses and business have the same stem. So business is actually the stem, the root, and then businesses is the plural form, but it has the same stem. So it's like that you have alternative words for the same word. So you don't use only the word business, but you use it also on an alternative way. Coaching and coach also have the same stem. Many search engines treat words with the same stem as synonyms, as a kind of query expansion, a process called conflation. So that's why it's good to use words not only in a singular form but also in a plural form. The D stands for meta description, so it's good to put your keyword in your meta description. And what is a meta description? The word business is used in the meta description. And the meta description is the text you can insert in your website to show a nice, longer description for your search result. This will help you to improve your click-through rate. So more people will click on your website in the search results because of a better description. You can see this as a little sales text. You can insert a meta description in your website by adding it to the code with a plugin if you have WordPress, or you can ask your web developer. Back to the single words. Next to the repeats column, you see the wizard column. Basically, it guesses for which word or word set your page is optimized, because it is not just the amount of repeats, but also where you use the word. If you hover over the question mark, you see that there pops up a long explanation of the wizard. The wizard score bar is a representation of the strength of a particular keyword or phrase on the page. If you manage to increase this wizard score for a particular keyword or phrase, it is likely to improve your ranking. Note, the score is not just derived from the amount of repeats, but also from many other factors such as keyword placement in the different elements we just discussed. So that's what we're aiming for, right? Now let's take a look at the phrases, starting with the phrases 2. This displays all found 2-word combinations and how you optimize your page for these phrases. Here you see that the phrase with 2 words, Gemma went, seems to be the word set that this page is optimized for. Gemma went is the name of the founder of this website, so it is likely that this might repeat on her pages. Though there you see that it repeats only twice, but still is seen as a better optimized phrase than the next phrase, within months, while within months repeats 5 times. So here you see the work of the wizard, and that it is not just the repeats that determine if a keyword gets a lot of value for the focus of your page, but that it also depends on where you added your keywords, on which elements. Next to the wizard, there's a column called density. Opinions differ about the density of keywords, but let's keep in general that it is good to have your focus keyword or keyword phrase between the 2 and 10%. There's no perfect density, it is probably best not to focus on getting a particular number. Use these numbers only to identify potential problems with extremely high or low values. The 3 to 6 word combinations can be very useful if you are targeting long-tail keywords. Long-tail keywords are generally combinations of 3 or more words. They do not have as much search volume as the main keywords, but they tend to convert much better. And the rankings for these keywords are much easier to attain, so they may actually be a good starting point for optimization. Imagine you sell widgets and your main keyword is widgets. That keyword might have a search volume of 1,000 searches per day, but only 2% of your visitors coming in through this term will actually buy something. Maybe because you have blue widgets only and not red widgets. If you would also, or instead, rank for blue widgets, the volume might decrease to 200 searches per day, but the conversion rate would be maybe 6% because you actually sell blue widgets. If you would also, or instead, rank for outdoor blue widgets waterproof, volume might decrease to 1 search per day, but the conversion rate could maybe be as much as 25%. And the ranking is much easier to attain than ranking for widgets, a very good place to start bringing in the first sales. Okay, I'm going to show you a new example. And this is an example to show you the best assets of this online tool. And this example is a travel agency. And today we're going to look at the page about Peru. And it's a travel agency that is connecting you to a local expert. It's actually a social travel agency. So it's a very nice example. And I'm using this one because I can change things in the back end. So I can also show you when you change things that you can see it in this tool. So this is the website. And I'm going to take a look at how they are doing now. So I'm going to copy again the URL and put it into the tool. I show you a new example because here we can make changes in the website to see how well we are doing afterwards and to show you 3 more important elements for the keywords. The first one I wanted to explain to you is IA, which means image alt tag. That is a tag that you can add to your images. So adding your keywords to the alternative text, as it is also called, can help with giving this keyword the focus. At Better Places Travel, they use Peru in the alt texts of the images, so that's very good. Let's talk about elements some more. To see which important elements are missing on this page, you can click on the tab Elements. There you will see in yellow some suggestions to see improvements in showing Google the focus of your website. This first yellow block gives a light suggestion to take a look at the amount of headings that are used on the page, because the tool thinks that 36 headings might be a bit too much. So take this in consideration to use less headings. Then, scrolling down, we encounter again 2 yellow text blocks, which tells us that we are not using bold text and italic text. So this is what we can add to our web page. Bold and italic texts to our web page. So make sure that you also use keywords in those bold and italic texts. So you show Google what the focus of your web page is. For this example, I chose Peru travel as a keyword set. Later I will go into this a little bit more when we look at the opportunities that could change your mind on using keywords. So I will add the combination Peru travel to the content in the bold and italic text. I changed the whole text, which used to be a heading, into normal text, and I added some bold and italic text, and also I added Peru to the words. So you see in the analyzer, so on the top you see what I changed on the page itself, and then you see what changed in the ranks.nl elements tab, that there's keywords detected in the bold text and keywords detected in the italic text. So that's what you want. You fixed the missing bold and italic. But what is the effect of the changes? That's what you can see when you click on the Compare to Earlier Reports button. This comparing button appears if you've been doing more reports on the same URL. And then you see this report. So you see that there are 3 keyword changes: Peru, travel, and Peru travel as a combination. On the right side you see the Google positions. Well, it was only 1 hour later, so there's not so much that changed. So there's still the same position for Peru places, which is 96. You see that I removed headings, so I removed an H6 heading, and I added bold text, and I added italic text.
Okay, thanks. That's all clear to me now. But what about the suggestion tab? What is that all about?
The suggestion tab, yeah, that's a very nice one. That's one of the best options on this tool. And I'm going to show you how you can use this tool, because you can see, for example, if you were using a keyword, but you have maybe better switch to another keyword. And the suggestions help you to get the most out of your pages. In the tool, you see a slider with some of the best suggestions. To look at all the suggestions, you can click on View Suggestions list or the Suggestions tab on the top. In the Suggestions tab, you see Notes and Opportunities. Notes give you advice, for example, to keep or add keywords to your content. Opportunities give you a great sense of opportunities you could have for another keyword that you might have missed to use in the important elements of your content. For example, in this example, this page already is ranked on the 3rd position in the Google search results for the word hammock. But in the title and the heading notes above, we saw that there's not yet the singular form of this word used in the title, only hammocks, the plural form. So with using the singular word hammock in the title and the headings, this page might start climbing the ranks to the number 1 position and have 40,000 more visits per month.
This is great. I can now see how this can work for my site and for my clients. It brings it all together, like the use of the keywords and the position I already have in the search engines. How genius that is. And what about the positions tab that I saw on front? How can I read this?
Yeah, the positions tab is also a very good one, and let's look into it now. For this example, we will take a look at this website that sells hammocks. Here you see the Google positions, and between the brackets you see the number of positions there are. I have to say that 149 is really a lot for one page, so don't feel discouraged if you only have 5. That is still very good, and it can only get better by using this tool. Here we see a list with all the positions there are found in Google for this page. If you hover over the green check icon, you see the explanation why this is green. This means that the page is ranking for this keyword and the keyword is found at least twice in the content.
If you hover over the orange light bulb, you see the explanation as well. Here it means that you have a ranking with this page on this keyword, but the keyword is not even used in the content. And above all, it also seems that the search volume is okay. It seems worth to try out adding this keyword to your content to boost your ranking for this keyword. So you see that hammocks for sale is giving you 923 visits per month, and now it is on the number 3 position in Google. But adding this keyword combination to your text could bring you to the number 1, and that will more than double your traffic for that keyword. So these are really interesting details of this tool that can definitely bring you a lot more traffic if you follow the suggestions given to you. On the page tab, I use a lot the number of words that you're using on the page. Here you see that the counter shows 192 words, while it is said that it would be better to have at least 300 words on your page. So then you know that you could increase the words on your page. That could help you with your ranking. So it would be good to add a description above the hammocks, for example, with some extra information about them, and add keywords to it. Only 2 lines would already help a lot. In the domain tab, there could be interesting things popping up. Like here at the Alexa summary, that the average load time is a bit too slow. And because Google likes websites that are not too slow, it would be good to take a look at your speed in this case.
The last 2 tabs, they're the links in tab and the social tab. So the links in tab shows if there are other websites linking to your page. They call these backlinks. You can see how many you have, and you could also this way see how many backlinks your competition has. When you fill in their URL and learn from that, learn from which backlinks your competition has. So good to know, right, what you're up against. And then we have at the last tab, it's the social tab. And it's relevant because the more you do lately in social media, it helps you rank higher. And it gives just your website more credits for ranking in search engines. And also links coming from social media give you value. So the exposure on social media may help you get you more links to your website, for example. So it is important to get a bit social with your website, and this tab can show you if you could boost your social presence a little bit more. You can also see this again with your competition. So if you fill in the URL of a competitor, you can also see how they are doing in social media. So that's what makes it a very handy tool. But there's a lot more to discover and explore on the ranks.nl, because today we only focused on the page analyzer, but there are other tools there, like the site crawler, with which you can see all the links that you have on your website. So if you want to change your domain name, it's important that you know which link you already have, so you can tell Google that you're changing your URLs to another URL, and you have to do that for all your URLs. So that's important to see. And another one is also that you can do more about the social view. It's called the social media tool. And the last one is the multi-page analyzer, for example. That's very nice to see. You can first site crawl, so you have all the URLs of your website, and then you put them into the multi-analyzer, and you can see much more about all the pages together, what they're all about. And so I would definitely go and explore these different tools that there are, but always first start with a page analyzer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.